Good evening, Gonzo. How are you?
I'm all right, my friend. How are you?
Warm. It is very, very warm. Even up here, believe it or not, the sun has managed to reach us up in the northeast of Scotland. But how are you coping in there? You've got a new addition to your shed.
yeah. Well, I was really struggling, so I bought myself a little air conditioning unit, which is hard enough to get. I've got to say, you try and go in a shop, try and go in B&Q or Screwfix, and no one's got any. But I managed to get one because I've had some ordering to do and some stuff that really required office work, which is this, by all intents and purposes, my office now. I couldn't even, the house was too hot. This was too hot. I'd taken over the kids' paddling pool. I booted them out of that. So I've got it. So it's not too bad in here at the moment. I'm going to sleep in here, I think.
Have you got a cup of tea? For the name
got a cup of tea?
Have you?
Yeah.
Nah,
I'm freezing.
I'm cheating.
I'm not really freezing. It's all right. Before you go out and splash out loads of money, it's not freezing, but it's not horrible like it is outside,
Anyway, right, we've got some questions on Twitter and YouTube to get through, but before we've got that, we've got quite a few topics tonight, actually. Currently, as we speak, earlier today, Albion Ajeti flew to Glasgow to confirm or negotiate his move to Celtic.
Did he use a plane, or did he actually fly?
He flew. He's pretty clever.
Well, amazing. They should want more than the 5 million or whatever they're going to get, really, you'd think.
I think we missed a trick not playing him, to be honest, with that sort of superpower.
I don't know. Trust David Moyes to miss it,
Yeah, but then we've got Solchek who can also fly. So
yes,
I think you only need one flyer in the team, I think, sometimes. But yeah, he's in Glasgow. But the interesting part of it is that the loan deal has been dismissed, and he's signing permanently for them for roughly $4.5 million. It makes you wonder, though, because originally we got told that it was a loan deal and both clubs were happy with it all, but it was actually the player that didn't want to go. He was not keen on going. But now it sounds like turning it to a permanent deal has persuaded Ajeti to go to Celtic. Or do you think it's just a coincidence and West Ham needed the structure of the deal changed?
Well, I think that's true. I think we needed it because the loan deal was no good for us. Was it better for Ajeti? I would imagine it probably was. It probably possibly made him feel more wanted. Maybe the leaks were just not. Maybe it always was. Maybe it never was a loan deal. Maybe it was always permanent transfer, and actually he wasn't sure if he wanted to go. But it's obviously such a big club, a hell of a club there, and obviously they're going to be in Europe, and it can be a superstar up there. Really, it's what do you want to be? A substitute on a Premier League bench, or do you want to be a superstar up in Scotland? So. He's played for Basel, which I guess is a similar sized club in that sense, isn't it? So it's probably 10 times smaller than Celtic, but I mean in terms of them dominating their domestic league, whatever, always qualifying for the Champions League, and basically him playing in Europe for a club that's not one of Europe's elite leagues. I think he'll do really well up there, and I think it is good for us. I know we've lost money. It's pointless us holding out to try and get our 8 or 9 million back because no one's going to pay it. Sometimes you just got to think that's a bad transfer deal, cut our losses. That's the only opportunity. Otherwise, what we're going to do, play him for the next 10 games next season to see if he's all right, ain't worth the risk.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he starts for them immediately up here, because they've got Edouard up front, who I think's he's possibly better than Morelos. He just doesn't get the plaudits as Morelos does. But I think the reason Morelos gets all the attention is because he's a hothead, and that's what catches everyone's attention, because he's a nutter. But Edouard goes about his business nice and quietly. There's been a lot of talk, though, that he's going to leave Celtic, so I do wonder if they're sort of trying to prepare in case he goes. He's been linked to France a lot at the minute. And he scored the opening weekend. He scored a hat-trick, and he put up a tweet as if to say, like, everyone's loud, but I'm scoring goals kind of thing, which I quite like. I like a player with a little bit of that about them. But I'm glad that's a permanent deal. I was not keen on the loan deal. It really annoyed me that we were potentially loaning him out. But $4.5 million, it's disappointing that we're taking a bit of a hit on this guy, because had he had a good season, his value would have gone up by $4.5 million at least. So we're having to cut our losses on him, which is disappointing, especially after we didn't even see him. I think he played about 130 minutes or something. It's not even a game and a half. What's the point? It's been a week. If I was him, I'd be really angry at West Ham. I think, hang on a minute, I'm in like the prime time of my career in terms of making it big here. I've come over here, you've just done nothing. I've not had a chance, nothing. No wonder he didn't want a loan deal, because he's probably thinking, I don't want to go back to that place. If it doesn't work out in Celtic, I need to go somewhere else. I'm not going back to West Ham. But the 4.5 million, take what we can get kind of thing, really, isn't it? If it smells like a desperate club and it looks like a desperate club, it's probably a desperate club.
Yeah. Well, and I do think we've actually got a little bit of a kitty there. When I say a little bit of a kitty, there was something that David Moyes said, which was there's a little bit of money there, but there's not a lot. And I sort of took that, like, okay, I can actually see there being David Sullivan saying, David Moyes, look, we've saved 4 million on wages. That's yours. It's your 4 million. Anything else you're going to bring in? David Moyes probably looks at it and thought, I can't really do what I want to do with 4 million. But if he adds another 4 or 5 million to it, he's armed with something. He's armed with 9 million quid. So he can say, okay. So if it was Eze, for instance, he can say, look, here's Hugo, here's 9 million. That's what I've got. So it's moving the chess pieces around. It's bean counting, really, and doing as best we can. We just have to accept it. But I'm pretty sure that 4.5 million or whatever it might be is going to be paid over 5 seasons anyway. So it ain't great. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think it's on its way to Frankfurt?
Oh, you want to deal with that now? You want to deal with that subject now or not? Because that's a biggie.
Yeah, it ties into the fee, doesn't it? It makes you wonder. It's just a sheer coincidence, but like yesterday, the news broke that we've still not paid the money that we owe Frankfurt, that we owed them back in May, for Sebastian Aller, €6 million, which is £5.5 million in our money. But we still owe them that money. We've not paid it, and Frankfurt kind of a little bit pissed off about it by the sounds of it, as you would be. As a Scotsman, if someone owes me a fiver, I get a bit grumpy. A day after it's due, where's the fiver?
Absolutely.
But yeah, so we owe Frankfurt a little bit of money, and Gonzo, if it looks like a desperate club and smells like a desperate club, it's probably a desperate club.
Someone said that to me earlier, funny enough, Geo. That's not the first time I've heard that before. So I don't even know where to start on this. So first of all, let's look at Frankfurt here. They must be looking at West Ham thinking, crikey, we thought you were a serious Premier League club. We thought we were dealing with a Premier League club. You get a good TV deal. You're all getting 150 million a year or whatever it might be. Why can you not afford this? You signed up to it. Having said that, Sebastian Haller's probably looking at West Ham thinking, hold on, I thought you were a serious Premier League club. And it's cheap. It's cheap. I'm not a great one. You know that saying that someone says, oh, I'm embarrassed, right? When someone else does something, I'm not a great one of being embarrassed for someone else. So you can embarrass yourself, but I'm not when someone else does something. So, oh, you're embarrassing. Hey, you're not. This I find a little bit embarrassing. I think it cheapens us. I think it makes us look really Del Boyish. And then it came out on the same day, of course, that we are taking up the payday loan. Now, I find it absolutely unbelievable. Well, it's very believable, but I still can't quite get my head around it. Why we would need to do such a thing. The fact that we do need to do such a thing. We are akin to an alcoholic going down to pawnbrokers and handing his wedding ring in and going and getting 4 cans of special brew and saying, I'm about to get that tomorrow. And we may well do. And I think it is a shoddy way to behave, and we can't pay Frankfurt, and then we're having to get a payday loan. We're having to borrow money that we're going to pay back in a year's time. We're basically borrowing our Premier League money a year up front, and we're going to basically pay £1 million for the privilege. It's so cheap. Why are they just not doing it? Why don't they just pay the money? Their owners, why are they doing this? Why are they scrimping? Why are they doing things cheap? Honestly, it's like my nan used to be like that. My nan used to get to the checkout in the supermarket. She'd stop peeing off her coupons. She'd have a little 10p off the Monster Munch, not the Monster Munch. What's it called? The Sugar Puffs. Oh, hold on, darling. There's 10p off that. Oh, hold on, me margarine. There's 15p off that. I think, oh, nan, come on. There's old queue of people. Oh no, not yet, darling. You know, we're so cheap. We're so nasty. We're horrible. We are, honestly, we are horrible. We are. I cannot bear, and it has become embarrassing.
It's we're not dealing with Frankfurt anytime soon. There's no point in scouting Frankfurt players in the next couple of years anyway. But it's just, I'm no longer embarrassed, Gonzo. I'm almost just laughing at it. When it came out yesterday, I just thought, Like, we're just skint. We're skint because we're so badly run. And these payday things is part of the problem, that you go back every single year. And you know what we're going to be doing in a year's time? We're going to be taking out another payday loan, because we've had this payday loan we've literally just taken out. We're going to be doing something in a year's time to compensate for it. And it's robbing Peter to pay Paul every single summer a little bit. You know, the fact they put in £30 million of their own money as equity a month ago, and it's already gone, and they still didn't pay back for that money. Just, where's it all going? You know, we're a save at the minute. We've just got money going everywhere, and I'm not sure anybody really knows where it is, including the owners. You know, I know the Sebastian Haller thing is an expensive deal, 45 million. We'd pay half of it up front or whatever, then the instalments come thick and fast because they want their money over a short period of time. But we sold Marko Arnautovic for over 20 million with 100% of the money up front. So that whole, we've got to pay for Haller half it up front. Well, that was Marko Arnautovic's fee. So that was a like-for-like thing. But then we also sold Chicharito as well. After the window shut, we sold Chicharito. And the reason was because Haller's thing was so expensive. So what was Chicharito sold for then? Because I thought it was to pay for the upcoming fees for Sebastian Haller. His wages was 100 odd grand a week. And Marko Arnautovic was 100 odd grand a week, and Haller's on roughly 120 grand or something. But where's all this money from Chicharito gone? Because I thought it was for Sebastian Haller. I think I was under the impression West Ham was traded in Arnautovic and Hernandez for Sebastian Haller financially. It appears not. It appears we traded in Marko Arnautovic, paid a one-off fee, and then we'll find someone down the back of the sofa to pay the rest of Haller. And unfortunately, Sullivan's had a little look a few times. There's just nothing left down the back of the sofa. Pellegrini's had it all.
Maybe he's just got a very big sofa and his arms are too short to reach the very bottom.
Well, Dave Sullivan's busy posing on it for the next edition of the Sun articles. Look at my...
Look at my what?
Sofa.
Oh, yes, no, it's a big one. It's a whopper. Goes round the corner.
Brilliant. But just the whole thing's just, we're just skint. We're so poor. And if I was a club and West Ham says, "Oh, we're interested in your player," I think I'd be saying, "No, out, no chance. I'd rather take less money from someone else, knowing that they're going to pay what they owe me, kind of thing, on time. You just leave, please, just go away." It's just another club. Add it under Leicester City, another club that just won't deal with us with transfers anymore.
Well, on its very basic level, I know I make this comparison quite a lot, but it's the only comparison we got because we're trying to compare football to everyday life. And whilst I don't think it is the same as everyday life, there is a comparison, which is your reputation as a seller. And you know what? If I get a new mobile phone and I want to sell my old one, if I get a nice renewal and I want to sell my old mobile phone, and I put it on eBay. And if what I do is the person that wins the bid, I'll go and check out their history, and the first three turn around and say, basically, this person didn't pay, muck me around for 2 weeks. You've all seen them on eBay, haven't you? These reports, muck me around for 2 weeks, didn't pay, I've had to open a dispute with eBay. If the first three are saying that, you'd be thinking, oh, crikey, I'm just going to get titted around here for 2 weeks. I'm going to have to relist it again and sell it again. And it makes you wary of people. And I think that's the equivalent of us. That person, that's us. You're absolutely right. Why would people want to come and do business with us? You know what? It's funny. Daniel Levy built up a bit of a reputation, slightly different, not for doing that, but made himself so hard to deal with that people didn't want to do business with him. Now, as it was, actually, he'd pay up the money. He just drove a really, really hard bargain. Our reputation's worse than that. We might not pay. We might not pay. We can't afford it. Oh, actually, but can we have that shiny new player, please?
Yeah, our football TripAdvisor is not very good. Our rating is not very good on football TripAdvisor. Right, are we dealt with the Haller thing, or is there anything else you'd like to add? We're going to go back to transfer rumours.
No, it's a shambles. I think we've settled that. It's a shambles.
I'm going to go to the Robinson thing now, because there was a big uproar that it looks like Anthony Robinson is off to Sheffield United. They're certainly the front runners for him anyway, the left back from Wigan for a couple of £1 million. There's a bit of an uproar that we are not getting him, because I think a lot of people hoped that would be our left back. What's your thoughts on this?
Couldn't care less. Really couldn't care less. I made a joke. I've done a video. I made a joke and said, basically, for those of you who haven't seen him, he's basically like a left-sided Ryan Fredericks. And all right, it was a bit of a joke, but as in most jokes, you know, it's like a little half truth stuck in there somewhere. Saw him, wasn't impressed. Now, fast, by the way, fast. But the technique wasn't brilliant. It wasn't like when I watched a video of that Montiel, for instance. Looked at him and thought, wow, he looks a player. I didn't look at this kid and think, oh, he's absolutely brilliant. But let's just go into the deal a little bit, because unfortunately we're a little bit guilty at West Ham of when we do these shows. Sometimes when we don't know, if you often ask in the chat and you say, can anyone let us know in the chat if you've seen any players coming through. We knew Bowen was coming through. Our watchers here, a number of them had said it. You want to look at this kid Bowen at Hull. We knew about Eze. What's his name at Brentford? Ben Rama, is that his name?
Yeah.
Everybody knew about him, so that was no surprise to us. I can't think at any point there were many people saying to us, oh, you want to go and get this kid from Wigan, right? So, and unfortunately, we get linked with him, and everyone says, oh, no, we want him, we must have him, and then we don't. Everyone gets bitterly disappointed. If you look at him, and I think I've just shown, I'm not afraid to criticise the owners, all right, here, but not on this one. Not on. There's enough other stuff to pick up your stick. It's like a snooker hall in it. Pick up your snooker cue to beat them with. This one you don't need to. If he came in, I'm not sure he's any better than what we got. Well, that's a reason not to do it, by the way. He has got a terrible, terrible injury record. Not just that, he has got a heart condition. All they found out, AC Milan were rumoured to be in for him, and then it fell down due to a medical. Now, all that happened was, it turned out that actually, and good for him, and I mean really good for him, it turns out he didn't have to have an operation. But he still has the heart condition. It's just they've decided not to operate. He's also got other issues. He breaks down quite a lot. Hopefully, and fingers crossed, it doesn't happen. And I don't mean to wish a bad leg on him, but you'd rather that than your ticker going. Do you know what I mean? So, when you look at it, well, hold on a second. We're going to bring someone in. He necessarily might not be better than Cresswell. He might not be better than Masuaku. So actually, we may well be bringing in our third choice left back here. Oh, hold on a second. Ben Johnson can play there. Okay, our fourth choice left back. What are we then going to do? Oh, hold on. We still need to buy a left back. I think we'd be almost stockpiling these left backs, even if he was cheap, right? Which apparently he's cheap enough. He's still going to be what, 30 million a week, something like that. Championship players go to 25, 30 million, something like that. He's still going to cost us with a transfer fee and on a 5-year deal. Still going to be millions and millions and millions. It is not the right deal to do. This is not it. If we're going to bring someone in, they've got to go straight into the first team, and they have got to be of the calibre of Souček and Bowen. That's what's got to happen.
Are you judging them off YouTube again, and lack of feedback on videos?
Well, I've watched him, but without being funny, it's not like you get those moody ones. I've watched the friggin' EPL review of him. It's not some everything, and I've not got it's not a YouTube review of his health. That's his health. That's not. I think he got something done to his heart. I could be wrong. I think he had a minor surgery earlier this year. I don't know if it was. I could be wrong. I think he actually did get something done to sort of solve it, if you like. The one thing you're missing, though, and this is, I don't know Robinson. I have not watched Wigan. I've never once sat down and thought I'm going to watch Wigan today. It's not happened. And I might have done when Will Grigg played for them, just for the banter, just because of the Northern Irish song that's going around. Thought I'd tune in just so I can hear the fans singing it in the background. But I don't know. Never really heard of him until 2 months ago, in all honesty. So I'm neither up nor down on him. There's 4 scenarios, but I'll go on to them. But the Robinson thing, the one thing we're missing, or you're missing, I think, is that Sheffield United want him. And when you talk about clubs with good track records at buying players, I think Sheffield United is one of them. You can say actually they know what they're doing, they know what they want, and that he's going after. If Wilder is going after him, I think that gives him a tick in my box a little bit. To be honest with you, I think he's obviously got something about him. Difficult club for him to go to though, Sheffield United, because Edna Stevens has been fantastic in that left wing back role, so he's not really gonna. Unless he's really good, he's not going to go in there immediately. And Jack O'Connell, you ain't getting Jack O'Connell's spot left centre back either. So, and they've got the other Robinson that they got from Nottingham Forest. He's at Sheffield United. He's got quite a lot of competition. If he does end up there, but further up rower and stuff, I don't know the player. I'm neither here nor there on him. We got him, great. I'm looking forward to seeing him. Didn't get him. I'm not that bothered. But there's 4 things here. Either A, Moyes don't want him, which is fair enough. We move on to the next target. But I'll tell you something, if that was David Moyes' third choice left back, then you better damn make sure you get the first or second choice, because you don't want the fourth one. Whoever that is, possibly Ryan Manning. Either Davies dithering, and I don't mean Sullivan, because Moyes has got history
taken his time to decide on which player he wants or whether he wants that player or not. And it could very well be he's gone to watch Wigan once in the post-lockdown, as far as we're aware. He attended the one game. He wasn't sure. It could be that he's thought, I quite like him. But at the same time, because he must have played well that game. He scored that game as well. So Moyes must have thought, he looks alright here. But I'm not sure. And then he's waited for too long. Sheffield United's gone in and got him. See, we do actually want him. But the players turn around and say, I don't want to come to West Ham. I'd rather go Sheffield United. Thank you. Now that's not a good thing either. And then the last one is we just can't afford him. That Moyes does want him, and Sullivan said no, we're not getting him. There's only one scenario in there good, and that is that David Moyes knows I don't want that player. The other three are not great, and it would concern me if it was one of the other three. As for the left back situation, I watched your video earlier about the Leicester comparison. I think it's right. I said at the end of the Transfer Rumours show I did last week, and it's still happening. I find it somewhat. It's a big, massive, not necessarily reality check, 'cause I think we've had one this season fighting relegation, but it's an insight into where we are as a football club. When the players we're going for, we're up against Sheffield United, we're going after Duffy allegedly. Who's our main club going up against us? West Brom. Yeah. The players we're going after are with teams who've just got promoted this summer or last summer, and that's our main rivals for these players and stuff. And I look at Southampton doing their transfer business, and I just think we're starting to fall behind them now. They're starting to peel away. They showed us last season as well what they'd done during the lockdown with their setup off the pitch and stuff. I thought, here's a club that knows where they're going. And the signings they've made today and yesterday, with Kyle Walker-Peters signing up, and they've signed that centre-back from Spain today. Højbjerg's joined Spurs, obviously. But you just look at that and think, there's a club that knows what they're doing. There's a club with a transfer strategy. They're going out, they're spending the money. They've got a manager on a 6-year deal now. They're backing a manager. Let's go. And I just think, well, that's another club I could probably put into the category of Wolves and Leicester that I think are going to finish above us next season.
Burnley. I mean, there's a few at Sheffield United. We are below. We're below a lot of these clubs. I mean, we use Leicester as an example. Leicester and Wolves, obviously the big ones. But let's not think, well, hold on, they've exceptional circumstances. A lot of the clubs you've mentioned, some that I've just mentioned, we're very low down the pecking order now. Yeah,
when you're shopping with relegation candidates for players, there's a good chance you're going to be a relegation candidate, aren't you? Or you see yourself as one anyway. And I just find it a bit concerning a little bit. Anything you'd like to add on that before we move on?
No, not really. The only thing I would say about him possibly going to Sheffield United is I would imagine Sheffield United, well, I don't imagine, they're not in the position we're in. They don't have Cresswell, Masuaku on it'd be 4-year contracts now on big money, with a youngster coming through who can also play in that position. They probably can sign someone that can play understudy to the guy that currently occupies the position. We can't. I'm laughing. I'm laughing at the prospect of someone bidding for Masuaku or Cresswell. Just ain't going to happen. We're heavily overloaded in that position. I wouldn't be surprised if someone said to David Moyes, you better get it right if you're bringing a left back, because we've got bloody loads of them, mate.
Yeah, I quite agree. Anyway, Matty Cash, he appears to be the one that's picking up most of the headlines in the last 24 hours for West Ham as to who our new number one target is a little bit. I guess the question is, A, do you believe the rumours, and B, do you want to see Matty Cash at West Ham?
Yeah, I think he's a really good player. I'd definitely take him at West Ham. He's got that versatility as well. Not that bothers me. I do actually want us to sign a right back. So I don't want us to sign him because he can play right midfield. Sign him because he's the best right back in the Championship. Whatever the case may be. Do that. Because he looks like he's got a future. He looks like he can become a player. Sign him. Nottingham Forest asking for 20 million. They need to get a grip. They need to get a little bit of a grasp on reality. And it may well take a few more clubs going into trouble in those lower divisions, and it will happen very soon, by the way. Won't just be Wigan. They're so reliant on the gate receipts. And I think it's fair to say, Geo, I don't think it's a wild assumption that they want to get fans back into stadiums end of September. Bearing in mind the way things are going now, I don't think it's a wild assumption to suggest that may not happen. Things don't seem to be getting more lenient, do they, at the moment? More places are getting locked down. It seems to have, without that turnstile cash, as we call it for old Matty Cash, without the turnstile money, a lot of these Football League clubs are going to really, really struggle. And whilst they might like somebody to come in and wave 20 million under their nose, even the Premier League clubs are going to be missing some of their money as well. And whilst they might not be on the brink of bankruptcy, a Premier League club is not going to pay 20 million. And I understand there's got to be a bit of bravado putting the price up. I did have to laugh, though, because I read in the article that actually we value him more like 6. Well, hold on a second. Don't take the mickey. He's worth more than 6. But he ain't worth 20 million. You'd like to think that you could get him for 11 or 12, and you'd like to think that maybe a club as big as West Ham could go and buy Nottingham Forest right back for 12 million, but obviously we can't.
If it's Moyes' number one target, because we don't know who it is, I thought it was Eze, to be honest with you. I think Eze is more of a... It's like a Pablo Fornals issue, I think. A year ago, I don't think Fornals was necessarily... target for West Ham, and I don't think we were looking for that position. I think Usulos and Pellegrini came across the opportunity to buy what they thought was a really talented player at a snip, and they took up that opportunity to go get that talented player. I think they were possibly right to do so, but it meant using the budget which should have been spent elsewhere on that player. I think Ez is one of them. I think Moyes has looked at him, really likes him, and thinks, oh, I really want that player, but actually you don't really need that position, kind of thing. I think he's just the player that Moyes likes. But it'd be interesting to see if Matty Cash is his number one target, because I'll tell you something, if we cannot afford to pay 12 million or whatever it is, because I've seen the reports, and I think Forest are trying to hold out for 15, and clubs are offering between 6 and 10 for him thus far, and I think that if he does go, I think it'll be between the 10 and 15 million number. But if we can't afford that, then it just gets even more embarrassing, particularly after selling someone for 4.5 million as well. I do hope that money, as tacky as it is, doesn't go to Frankfurt. I hope it actually goes to David Moyes and says, right, quick, go get with the money that we do have, which is a little bit, not much, but let's go get your number one target, then we can relax a little bit. Then we can start shifting players out, because if you go get Matty Cash, and suddenly you can say, right, let's get Fredericks out the door for a few million, let's try and get some of the money back in, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Then we move on to the left back situation and sell one of them. But at the minute, it just sounds like we're completely skint, and it's just...
Yes, it does.
It's just embarrassing. I don't know what's expected of Moyes. If we don't have money this transfer window, Moyes' task next season is simply going to have to be to stay in the Premier League. It's going to have to be avoid relegation. I think if you offered David Sullivan 15 next season today, I think he'd take it. You offered Moyes 15, I think he would possibly take it as well.
I'll take it.
How bad is it though? It's just really...
Yeah.
As for the turnstile cash, I do think next season in England football, I do think they're going to follow the Scotland model, which is pay to watch it at home, get your HD stream to your computer and stuff. And it's not cheap. Like I said to you in the last one, it's some clubs are charging £12.50, £15 per game. But the fans are joining up to it. The fans are paying for it because it's supporting the club. You know, the money's going to the club. So the fans are saying, yeah, I'll do it. I'll get my HD stream and you can have my money, kind of thing. It's still cheaper than actually a 10 in the game. You don't have all the match day expenses. The ticket is less than a ticket. So I can see why it works. I think England will follow that model as well, to be honest with you. I don't think it'll be all the football on BT and Sky like we had in post-lockdown. They had to do that. There was no alternative. Now, I don't think there is a necessity for that. I think.
But did Scotland already have a TV deal?
Yeah.
I wonder how they would get round that with Sky and BT.
Because you just say to Sky and BT, take your pick, and they say, I'll have that one and that one, and then they say, right, the rest of them, pay-per-view. Because that's what they've done up here. So, for example, on Sunday, Rangers was, you had to pay to watch it, pay Rangers to watch it, and I think they're doing 3 games for £25 or something, and then the Celtic game was on Sky later on. So,
well, see, that's not terrible value.
No.
3 games for £25 is not terrible. If what they're going to do is make it infinitely more than Netflix or something like that, if it is going to be more than your Sky subscription, if it is going to be £50 a month, for instance, right? Let's say that. Well, that's a lot of money over the year.
That's assuming you'd only have to pay that though if none of your games were on TV, which is unlikely. At least
I know, but you're going to have to pay for the TV as well. So you have to pay for the Sky, you have to pay for the BT, you have to pay for the Amazon. You are into massive money out of your budget. When we've literally gone into recession today, haven't we? They're thinking about $1.5 million unemployed. By the end of the year. So these are going to be tough times, and people will just stream it if they set the price too high, and they do that. People will just stream it because they'll have to.
Right, that's the transfer stuff. Any other transfer stuff you want to talk about? I've left it very brief so we can cover more topics.
Not really, matey. Not really. Not I can think of off the top of my head, but I've been out of the loop today.
Michail Antonio has been rumoured to be getting a new contract. Currently has 1 year left. However, the club do have the option for a further 2 years on his deal, but the rumours are he's going to be given a new contract. Thoughts,
I think
please?
we probably need to learn from our mistakes. If basically what we're saying is he has 3 years left with us, these are uncertain times. Antonio's 30. If what we're saying is we've got him until he's 33, why would we extend that? He's not going to get fitter. I was going to say he might get better. Actually, he does seem to be improving, which is great. But a 33-year-old version of Antonio is going to be getting. He's not going to be getting less injuries, and he already picks up a couple of injuries at least every season. Maybe absolute madness. Bearing in mind we can't even afford to pay our bills at the moment, and that's the truth. And bearing in mind our bills are cheap because we don't have to pay a mortgage like everybody else does. We've got a little bit of rent in our bed sit, right? And a little bit of money to Frankfurt here and there. We can't even afford that at the moment. Let's be fair, we took the stadium to court because we didn't want to pay them any money. We wanted them to pay for our carpet, right? So this is the sort of stuff that we do. True, you laugh, but it's true.
I know,
it's true.
It's just funny, isn't it?
Yeah, we absolutely it is. With that in mind, no, I suggest we don't offer Michail Antonio another 50 grand a week on top of his 70 grand a week. Let's have a little look, and if it gets to the end and it gets near, and at the age of 32, Antonio is still absolutely smashing it, then at that point, let's say to Antonio, we're going to do what Arsene Wenger used to do in that sense. We'll give you an extra year. We'll give you a year rolling contract after this. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I think that's what we've done with James Collins. When James Collins was here, that's what we've done. Give him a year, then eventually we said, right, that's it, time's up kind of thing. I think it is the right thing. Look, does Antonio deserve a new deal? Well, yeah, he does, considering what he's just done. But, crikey, I wouldn't do it because he's also injury prone as well. And the last thing you want is, unfortunately, Antonio signed that deal. And this is why I get a bit frustrated when players aren't willing to sort of stick to the contract they signed. So if Antonio's expecting a new one, well, why did you sign the one in the first place, which was 70 grand a week or whatever it is, with the 2 year option in there? Don't sign it then. Remove the option if you're not happy with it. The reason he's done it is because of security for him, because he was like, well, I'm signing up to 4 years at West Ham or whatever, and 70 grand a week, I'll have that. But now it's got to the point where he's in a strong negotiating bit. He said, I want a new contract. Well, no, hang on a minute. When we gave you that contract, we weren't asking you to play 10 games a season. We were asking you to be a first team player at West Ham. You're currently a first team player at West Ham. You're simply doing what your contract dictates at the minute. And I'm all for rewarding good performances and stuff, but I think we do it too much at West Ham. We did. Fly just attacked me. We did it with Aaron Creswell. Creswell got like 3 contracts in 4 seasons or something at West Ham. His first one, then he got a new one after being hammered the year, and 2 years later he got another one again. I thought, so what?
Just
what
put
was
it into
second
context
contract?
here. I've just done a calculator. Basically, Michail Antonio's on about £3.5 million a year before goal bonus and before appearance bonus, which will take him up significantly. All right, it is not beyond the realms of possibility that Michail Antonio can earn about £4.5 million a year. All right. We know he's got he's got a lovely motor. We see him wrap it round a lamppost or drive it into someone's house, didn't we? So we used to have a lovely motor. Sorry.
And he's got a nice penguin costume.
Absolutely. So, I know it's easy to sit here and say, and if he's there earning, as I say, 4 or 5 million a year, and the geezer next to him's earning 7 million, yeah, okay, there might be a bit of green-eyed envy there, but nonetheless, I don't know. I don't know. It's lots of money. We can't keep making multi-millionaires to everybody all the time, and I think you'd probably look, and I wouldn't be surprised if Cresswell's getting £2.5-3 million a year. Masuaku's probably getting £2.5-3 million a year.
He's probably getting paid more than Noble. I think Mark Noble would do well to tap him on the shoulder and say, hang on a minute, mate, I've never earned that much at West Ham.
Yeah, absolutely.
Captain, I've been here all my life. I think he probably be in similar wage to what Antonio's on. I mean, there won't be much in it. But bearing in mind, Martin Noble handed in the ball to get his 10 goals and his bonus money. I think.
I don't mean to dig out. I don't mean to dig out Mikel Antonio. It's just that's a subject. Yeah, if what you're doing is every year, you know you're earning. All right, obviously you're gonna have to pay tax and the rest of it. But even if you get appearance bonuses and it's 4 or 5 million, even if every year you know that going into your bank is about 3 million, and the next year, and the year after that, if you're skin at the end of it, you know, you've only got yourself to blame on that sense. You probably, you know, and I don't want to dig Mikel Antonio. I just want to make the point that £70,000 plus appearances plus goal bonuses, which are generally 15 grand a piece on top of that, it's a lot of bloody money, and we don't need to shell it out on with skin.
Yeah. They've got the 2-year option. This is the key thing for me. He's got 1 year left, but the club have got an option in there. They flick a switch, and he's got an extra 2 years on top of that on his current wages. I think the club should exercise that. Wait till halfway through the season and see what the scenario is, assuming he doesn't have a big long-term injury of that. And if he doesn't, flick the switch, and he's, I say, stuck, but swings and roundabouts, he'll be 33 years old at one point on 70 grand a week at a Premier League football club in terms of his contract. It's not bad. Gig,
nice.
And I think it suits both parties actually, this option thing. Right, we're going to move on before Twitter questions. Actually, just 2 bits of news. We're not going to discuss it. The season starts in a month. 1 month today, 12th of September. The new Premier League season kicks off. Pre-season starts on Monday. West Ham players are back in training as of Monday to get ready. So we should find out what our friendlies are in the next.
I hadn't even thought of friendlies actually, so you just mentioned it then.
Yeah, so we should find out what the friendlies are. I assume they're all going to be English friendlies. I can't see why we would chance going abroad to play a friendly. The new kit, the third kit, is out in terms to look at and to order, and I believe in the shop on the 28th of August, so 2 weeks on Friday. The third kit is out for West Ham, the black and gold one, so we'll have pictures when they're out, kind of thing. Anyway, you ready for some Twitter questions?
Yeah,
start
bring them
on. Steve, Hammer for Life, Jacko, to me and you.
Hey, Jacko.
He says, he's asked 2 questions. I'm going to use the second one first. Says, on a more serious note, is there a price you'd let Rice go for? There's been a lot of Rice talk, hasn't there, in the last couple of days?
Yeah, there has. No, I think not. I think not now. I know every player has a price and all the rest of it.
Bollocks. Would you accept 150 million?
Yes.
Okay, right, now we know that you're willing. Let's negotiate. Would you accept 100? Oh, come on.
Yeah.
80?
No, because I'm not convinced what we'd do with it.
90?
Possibly.
Okay, there's your biting point.
The trouble is, I think, even if we got 100, I think the club are saying, oh, right, okay, well, we'll take that 30 because we just put that in. David Moyes, and then all of a sudden, David Moyes finds himself. Absolutely, yeah, for sure. All of a sudden, we got 55 million to play with, and we ain't getting anyone, even if it's 2 players, to make up for what Declan Rice does in a game, which is pretty much everything at the moment. Between 70 and 80 is my biting point. I think anything less than 70 I'd be disappointed with. I would panic if a bid came in for around about 60, because I think that would make David Sullivan sweat a lot. I think the 60 million mark might be David Sullivan's biting point. But the problem is, Declan's almost like, this is where being a nice guy is almost going to be Declan's downfall, I think. Do you know when Mark Hanav, it's because he was a bit of a, when he wanted to leave, he acted like a bit of a, and no one's surprised. They were like, yeah, it's alright. Declan can't do that because he's Mr. Nice Guy. If a bid come in, he genuinely wanted to go, Declan's almost going to have to go up to Mr. Sullivan's door and knock. Please, sir. Because maybe get that move to Chelsea and stuff. So I think Declan Rice is an iron fist in a velvet glove. He will smash that door down and basically, and in doing so, I'll say apologies, Mr. Sullivan, for the destruction of the door. I know a really good carpenter. I'll get that fixed for you. I need to go to Chelsea if you don't mind. I think you may well find that Declan Rice is a tougher cookie than we can.
Send his agent in, let him do the dirty work. But 70 odd million is what. But I'll tell you something. It makes me nervous. This talk is going to go on and on and on until either one of 2 things happen. One, Declan goes, or the transfer window shuts. There's a third one, which is Chelsea go spend big bucks on someone in Declan's position, but I can't see it. They're just not really linked to anyone. I've been keeping my ears out and eyes out to see if they're linked to anyone else for Declan's role, because while they've done good business, Chelsea, they're not really doing it in secret. Everyone knew they were going to get in Timo Werner. Everyone knew Ziyech was getting done. If Kai Havertz gets announced, nobody's going to be surprised, because that's been lurking for about a month now. So this Declan Rice thing, it'd be more of a surprise if they didn't come get him. The only good thing is Sarri's got sacked at Juventus, and I think that's who would have went and got Jorginho to fund the move. So I think they might have a bit of an issue there in terms of getting rid of someone to fund the Declan thing. Steve also asked, where is the blooming Android app? We've had issues. We don't know what we're doing. Me and Gonzo can't do coding for a mobile phone app, so everything takes a bit of time and costs a bit of money. We have no time, we have no money, but we'll get it sorted. We will get the app up and running and back into the stores for free for people, for free to use. Chris B, Xbox Chris.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, we play Red Dead Redemption sometimes. Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a golf pro. Chris.
Yes. Chris B says it's too in their way too early prediction department. If we were to get the fullback situation sorted, where would West Ham finish next season? I'll get your answer before I give you his prediction.
Okay, so Chris is just saying fullback sorted.
Yeah. The
fullbacks that we want. Okay, so the best left back available, the best right back available.
Let's say Matty Cash and Rico Henry come in.
Okay, I think we could finish 12th or 13th, 12th maybe.
I knew you were going to say that. 12th's the one in my head as well. I'll say 12th too. Chris said 7th or 8th.
Oh, Chris.
Bless him.
He's been out with his brother going to concerts again, drinking too much, Chris.
Mikey John says, what's the best way of cooling down in this very hot weather?
That air conditioning unit.
If
I'm pretty cold. You see me nipples.
If you go around young Dave Sullivan's gaff when he's on with his, he might be able to tell. He's got something there. And truth be told, I don't know. I have been struggling all day. There's just no breeze. It's very humid. Who's the most ridiculous player we have been linked with?
Oh, I don't know. I couldn't possibly say. I haven't heard us linked. No, it's got to be someone old, isn't it? It's there was somebody.
Zlatan.
I can't think who it is. No. I haven't heard that one. It was somebody. I don't know. It was somebody that was in their 30s. There was just no way. I can't. I wish I could remember. I can't. Sorry. It was. Oh no. And that was it. I can. It was that Braithwaite. That Braithwaite at Barcelona.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah. That's it. 29, 30-year-old on Barcelona wages. No. Come on.
And his last question: what's the furthest from home you have been to watch West Ham? And he says, I'm not allowed to pick the London Stadium.
Crikey, I wouldn't. Have I seen us any? I haven't seen us in Scotland. It's got to be Newcastle. Is that furthest away?
Mine's Cardiff or Southampton. I've seen them in Germany, but I think Germany's closer for me than Southampton. So I think I'll say Southampton.
Canada's probably closer to you than Southampton.
Right. Ilan BD says, as we've been told non-stop that we've got no money, but it's clear we need a striker. If you could only sign one player, would you prefer an experienced player that may be possible like Giroud, or would you like a gamble like someone in the mould of Ajeti or Wiseman?
A gamble. But a gamble that someone has faith in that wants to play. There's no point having a Ajeti as a gamble if basically that manager and the one that follows him don't fancy it. Giroud, crikey, he's got a break at some point, hasn't he? How old is he? 52?
34? 33, 34? Still doing the business.
Good player. Good player.
Yeah, he's been doing the business for them this season. The young gamble for me as well, because it's risk and reward, isn't it? When you get an old guy in, the risk is his injuries, his form, because his age is creeping up. But you're also paying big wages. He's on his final payday. He's not coming for football. He's not coming to win something. He's coming for the check at the end of the month. That's always interesting. But the gamble, the rewards are massive. If the guy comes in, if Ajeti come in and he scored 8 goals this season, his value's trebled. In 1 year, his value's gone up triple. We're laughing, we're looking at it laughing, thinking this is the striker for the next 3-4 seasons at West Ham. Happy days. And if it doesn't work, can't you do what we've just done? He's gone up to Celtic for $4.5 million. Okay, we've taken a hit, but that difference of cash that we've just lost is what Giroud would command in a sign-on fee anyway. So we'd pay that a season to have someone like Giroud here. So yeah, gamble for me. It's a bit more exciting as well, but it's potentially more rewarding. The Boston Hammer, with rumoured $5 million coming in for Ajeti, will West Ham use that money for A, to meet Nottingham Forest's valuation of Matty Cash, B, pay Frankfurt for what we owe them, or C, line gold in Sullivan's pockets? I think he's been a bit naughty.
Well, that's fine, we don't mind naughty.
We love a bit of naughty.
Yeah.
So does Dave Sullivan Jr. If you take a look at his pictures.
His pictures, no?
No, I'll send you them.
Is it public knowledge?
No, I'm just joking about the conversation we had with Dave Sullivan on his sofa in his flat. All them.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yes.
Never mind. Sorry. It's all right. It's a warm day. It's fine.
It said, yeah. I'm my brain's frozen. I'm so cold. I think it will go towards a player, whether it's Matty Cash or not. Is another matter. I can't quite. We've had so many leaks for such a long time. I can't think that it is that hard to keep things quiet. Okay, so, and I do think Moyes coming in. I just wonder if he's not stupid, Moyes. I reckon Moyes has come in. He's looked around. He's got his confidants. He's got his people that are close to him. And as for the rest, I reckon he looks around that training ground. I reckon he tells people nothing. So I reckon he's looking around there thinking, one of you lot, two of you lot, or three of you lot are leaking things out here. Do you know what I mean? I reckon he's playing his cards a lot close to his chest. And I just wonder how many smoke and mirrors have got out. If I was in David Moyes', like we spoke about doing the old trick one time. Yeah, you remember the old trick?
Yeah,
right?
I remember.
I think if I was in David Moyes' position, probably because my mind wanders more than Moyes. Moyes might not do this, but I'd be thinking, right. What was her name? It was like Colleen Rooney did it, didn't she? She knows someone
Rebecca
was
Vardy,
leaking stuff from her Instagram group. So she basically just told certain people certain things. I'd be doing a bit of that if I was Moyes. Honestly, I'm telling you. And then when it came out at that point, West Ham interested in Brighton's Mopai or whatever. You,
Dave Sullivan, you.
Francois, the guy that paints the white line on the pitch.
Dave Sullivan, it was you all along. I fucking knew it was you, Dave Sullivan.
Yeah, absolutely. So
he could probably work it out if he wanted to. All he has to do is look at the staff that's there under him, Pellegrini, and Bilic, and just score off everybody that wasn't there during all 3 tenures, and you're going to be left with a list at the end of it. It's one of them.
And then put some poison in the drinks and hand them round. And then,
well, I don't know about that, but
as I say, David Moyes probably deal with it differently to how I would.
Might cut the wage bill.
It certainly would, because insurance.
Will it cut it by €6 million? Do you think?
Well, insurance would pay out. You wouldn't have to pay out.
Well, Frankfurt then might be up for a little bit of.
What? Sebastian Haller? Is that what you're talking about?
Frankfurt might be thinking, I'll have a little bit.
Yeah.
That's not my money.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, Sebastian, we're all going out on speedboat rides at the weekend. It's like a club bonding thing. Sorry. Oh, anyone see Sebastian? No. Yeah. There you go.
Back to the question. I think the money will go in the transfer kit as well. So that $4.5 million going into kitty means we've got $4.5 million to spend. Jazza says, if you could sign one player in the world as unrealistic as you like. I like this question because normally we get told be realistic. So Jazza's saying as unrealistic as you like, but he has to be the perfect fit for West Ham. So you can't say Messi because Bowen plays there, kind of thing. So who would you pick?
What about the fella? What about the tall lad that plays for Bayern Munich?
There's a few.
Funny name, Polish sounding name maybe. Good midfielder, tall, does everything, tackles, scores, runs.
They've got the two midfielders at the minute is Thiago and Kimmich.
No. No. Exactly. He's a real
The one that starts with G. I don't know how you pronounce it.
Yes, G.
Gortsa, something. Gortsa. Gorteska.
Leon Garincha.
Yeah, I don't know how you pronounce it. I know you spell it. Goretek.
He looks very good. I tell you, I don't even know what happens. I mean, you're talking about world football here, of course. You're talking about someone absolutely world class. Actually, no, get the other geezer off Bayern Munich. Get the left back. What's his name?
Alphonso Davies, yeah.
Yeah, him. I'll take him. Thank you very much. Job done, Jazza. Job done. I'm raiding Bayern Munich for 2 players.
Yeah, I think Davies would be a good shout because that's the position. That and right back is one of those two. To be honest with you, I don't know. A goalkeeper would interest me, to be honest with you. I really want to see us make a statement in the goalkeeping position next summer. That's the one position I really want us to spend 20-30 million pounds on and get a top keeper in. It's just a pity we're not in the right place at the minute because Solskjaer has gone and said that he's got an issue to sort out these goalkeepers because he's admitted that he can't have De Gea and Henderson and that Romero will not play a third choice, but Romero's clearly happy to play a second choice because he gets played in the European games. So I think by sounds by what Ollie's saying, Henderson or De Gea is leaving this summer, and if he decides it's Henderson, it is easier to sell Henderson. It should be harder for Solskjaer because in the long-term interest of Manchester United, you've got to sell De Gea.
Yes.
But Ollie, why does Ollie care about Man United in 5 years? This is what I've never understood about managers. Do you know how we all want managers getting young players? Why should David Moyes care about what happens at West Ham in 2 seasons' time? He's got a 1 year on his contract. He cares about the next year at West Ham, and that is it. And do you know something? He's quite right to do so. Why should he care about the resale value of a player in 3 years' time at West Ham? He's going to be gone. The next manager is going to reap the rewards for all this work. You should only put down, as a manager, I think this is why you have to have a manager on a long-term contract or just get rid of him. Like, back him, or I say back him or sack him. When I say back him, I mean give him long-term security and say do what you want with the club. This is why Southampton should flourish in the next 2 or 3 seasons. They've given their manager a 6-year deal and said this is your job. Potter, Brighton, 6-year deal. This is your job. What do you want? What do you need?
It's obviously a seaside type thing.
It must be a seaside. Maybe the first year gets to their heads or something. Or maybe they've just got owners that like to back their manager and says, let's...
You're right up there. Maybe you'll have a similar thing in Aberdeen up there as well.
I'm not allowed.
6-year contract with Aberdeen.
I'm not allowed anywhere near Aberdeen right now, am I? Lockdown. Not allowed in.
No skinny dip in the sea.
Lots of people with aviation suits outside the city says no entry. Not allowed in here.
Hasn't been an oil spill or anything, has it?
No. But back to the manager thing. Do I want to see Moyes on a 6-year contract? No, I don't. I do not want to see Moyes on a 6-year contract. But I want to see some sort of plan for in 5-6 years' time. And this is why, if going back to my keeper thing, I know I'm going off a tangent here, but why should Solskjaer say, actually, I'll keep Henderson because he's going to be a better goalkeeper for the next 5 seasons? Actually, if Henderson's going for 40 million this summer, if I was him, I'd be thinking, right, I'm selling him for 40 million quid and I'm spending it so I can improve my team next year. And that just gives someone an opportunity to go in there and get a top keeper for big bucks, but sorts your goalkeeping position out. And that's why I would love to be in a position if Henderson becomes available. It's a 50-50. One of them's going, De Gea or Henderson, and De Gea's not going back to Spain. Well, I can't see him going there.
He's on so much money, Gio. They've got another Sanchez situation there.
Real Madrid and Barca don't need him. Valencia's all over the shop at the minute. Have you seen them? They're giving their players away, Valencia. Everybody's up for sale except one player.
Who? They got that guy.
Yeah, he's the only one not for sale.
Oh, he's the good one.
The rest of them, Maxi Gomez, Pereiro, just gone to Villarreal for free. The guy's like one of the best centre midfielders in Spain. Valencia's just gone. But this is where a clever club, a clever Premier League club, would be going to Valencia, having a look around, thinking, oh, who can we get here for a bargain? Anyway, ranting, sorry. Richie, with the low attendance for games this season, what's the chances we're going to get a home game on Boxing Day?
Yeah, Richie, I saw your message earlier, mate. Yeah, I mean, highly likely. It's not just that though, is it? It's not just the football. It's the retail. It's the retail sector. You've got a lot of commercial property there in Westfield, and I think by and large, there's not a lot of dropping of rates. There's a lot of businesses that can't give it another 6 months. A lot of those places in Westfield are going to be boarded up and not usable, and in which case Westfield ceases to be usable in many respects. It'll be really interesting to see what happens with there as a particularly as a regenerated area with a massive shopping centre there. So I think you may well have no people in the shopping centre, no people in the stadium. Football galore. They might have 2 matches there on Boxing Day.
Yeah, I think we could have a home game on Boxing Day, just as he said, for the logistics and stuff. Tom Inskip says, would you rather have no nose like Voldemort, or would you rather have a massive beak like Zazu from The Lion King? Now, he has attached a couple of images which I'll try and show the viewers. I'll try and show Gonzo as well, but I can't see what Gonzo can see.
Yeah, I know Zazu. Zazu's he was Rowan Atkinson, did the voice. It's a hornbill. Kings don't need advice from little hornbills for a start.
Okay. So what would you rather have? A big beak or no nose?
Zazu, I'd rather have the beak.
I'll have no nose. That beak would just get in the way, wouldn't it?
I like it.
Those bump into stuff.
Give a pecking.
Yeah, right.
Picking.
We got pre-show YouTube comments now. Pre-show YouTube comments here. Ben Davies, if you were to show an alien a game of football so they could see how good it is, which one would it be?
Probably somebody from Mars. I think an alien from Mars.
I see what you've done there. Very good.
Liverpool against Newcastle 4-3.
Yeah, I'll go with something like that. I would show them a Barcelona game from Pep's Barcelona with Iniesta, Xavi.
Oh, I'd fall asleep. I'd fall asleep with the wheels of the flying saucer. Oh, crash. You'd have another Roswell on your hands. We'd send them to sleep. Xavi, Iniesta.
Oh, shut up. That football is just champagne football. Hammer 1999. Favourite pizza takeaway?
The favourite pizza, I would go... there's a thing called Roquito peppers. I have some Roquito peppers on it. Beautiful, lovely.
Where's it from?
Pizza. I'd go with Pizza Express, the Roquito pepper one.
Before I move on very quickly, because I know someone's going to shout at me here. Texas Chicken Barbecue from Domino's. Right, next. Hammer 9999 again. If you had a few billion, you were going to buy a football club that wasn't West Ham, who would it be and why?
Well, there's a couple of things I'd do. I'd maybe Newcastle, because I just think they would be eternally grateful. What I'd like to see, something I've always wanted to see, which we get in rugby union. You've got the English Premiership, and then you've basically got a Celtic League where the biggest Welsh clubs, biggest Scottish clubs, and the Irish clubs all compete in one another. I think it works so well, and it's a marvellous thing. And I'd really like to bring Scottish, Welsh, and Irish football together to make a Celtic Super League like that. And I'd love to take Derry City or Dublin or Cork, or to actually take an Irish club, because there's so much passion in Ireland for football. And actually, I'd love to do that. I'd love to create these powerhouses. And I know, obviously, Cardiff and that obviously wouldn't be keen to come out of the English football pyramid, but I just think it'd be really, really good for football and all the clubs concerned. I think I'd like a project if I was going to do it. I think that would be a really, really good project. I mean, it'd give you a lot of self-satisfaction if you could do that, and you get massive crowds. I
think Sunderland for me, just because they are a big club, and I think they've got a lot of the foundations and infrastructure already in place, so you wouldn't necessarily have to really do that much to it. And after watching Sunderland Till Die on Netflix, it's hard not to not get a soft spot for them, but to feel for their fans a little bit. You do feel for them, and they've had it tough down there. But that's why I would, because you wouldn't have to build them a new ground or nothing. Even though I'm a billionaire, I'm still going to be tight. So that's who I would go for. Tone, interesting question this one. If you're watching at home, put in the live chat with what your answer is for this one, or if you're watching on playback, put in the comments below, because this is a good question. What do you see as being the start date for West Ham? 1895 is Thames Ironworks, or 1900 is West Ham? It gets you thinking as to what defines a club and how much change there has to be for it to be a different club. For example, the name, the colours and the location.
Well, I'd firstly, let me just say people need to go and have a little look at Nigel's videos, A Real History of West Ham, because he's done absolutely tremendous work, and he does all the tours for the rest of it. Obviously, he can't do tours at the moment, so he's done some absolutely wonderful videos. I actually had a chat with him on the phone probably a month or two ago when I was picking his brain about CCTV, which was and he was talking about about whether or not actually Arnold Hills did found it, and we were just having a good old chat about it. I think it's got to be for me as Thames Ironworks, because it's the seed, isn't it? It's the seed from which I was going to say the mighty acorn. We're more like a pathetic weed now, aren't we? But it's the seed from which the dandelion grew.
It's 1895 for me, because as a youngster, that was always on the badge. Like that year was always on the badge, and I remember as a kid, one of my first shirts was the blue one with all the bubbles all over it as well and stuff. So it sort of becomes knowledge as a lad that 1895 is just when your club was formed, because at that age you're not going to know the history and stuff, are you? It isn't until you're older and you start learning about the history and that. But it's too late at that point. I've already decided. I already know that 1895 is when West Ham is formed. So there's no... You're not going to change my mind.
Or you can wipe... I watched the Netflix thing. They can wipe your minds and send you back and put an implant and send you back as a sort of cyborg. You'd be half man, half cyborg, and you become part of an elite squad, and you like an assassin.
You watch some right rubbish, you. Alan, Woody.
Hello?
Alan says, how would you describe the colour red to a blind person?
They can hear, right?
Yeah, well, I'm just about to say, I hope there's not a blind person listening to this, because we might offend them.
Yeah, well, I'm taking if they can hear, I'd say it's red.
But how would you describe the colour?
If they can't hear or see, then I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. I'd probably work out how to type Braille, and then I would write red in Braille, and then I could feel it. Oh, red. I used to know some sign language, but it's very rude. I used to live when we were younger and naughty. There was loads of us got money together, and we all shared a house. What fun times that was! Loads of lads, and there was basically was a deaf guy there. So lovely guy, and he used to teach us rude sign language.
I think I would give him some tomato sauce and be like, "That's what red tastes like."
Oh. Oh yeah, and not barbecue sauce.
But that's brown.
Obviously.
Well,
Yeah.
no, because there's brown sauce, isn't it? Why is brown sauce just called brown sauce? It's not even named after like a flavour or nothing, is it? It's just named after the colour.
It's just nasty. There's no flavour. It's nasty. It's just gunk. It's just bad for you.
It's you off. Anyway, live chat, get your questions in. We've got 10 minutes or something, then we'll start wrapping this up. Get your questions in on the live chat. We'll rattle through them. And Jazz also asked, what is our favourite cartoon? Character, sorry.
Oh, Jazza, that's you need to give me a bit of notice on these things, really. Well, it's certainly not Peppa Pig, because now my fourth child along, I've now, unfortunately, she's grown out of it now, and I'm really pleased to have that chapter of my life as closed as an adult, having to watch Peppa Pig. My favourite cartoon character would probably be Jessica Rabbit.
Mine is Arnold from, believe it or not, Hey Arnold. I liked Hey Arnold. Him and...
Actually, yeah, sorry, Yosemite Sam. Yosemite Sam! Yeah, he was good.
Ray says, what VR game would you like to play?
What?
VR game, virtual reality. I think it's that thing you put the thing on, your eye thing on, don't you?
What, can you play any game on virtual reality?
Yeah, let's just say you can.
So, if you were playing football with the goggles on, wouldn't you have to put something on your feet as well?
I think, I don't know. I've never...
Do you know? I got this thing, right? Well, I think it was the Xbox before, or maybe it was this one. And it had like a kinetic, I think it was something, right? Some shit that you put on the top of it, right? And I got a Jedi one. Basically, you had to be a Jedi, and it was a Star Wars one. But you had to stand in the lounge. I think it was there. They were trying to combat the Wii, because people were playing tennis with the Wii, but you had to hold something in your hand with a Wii. This, it could tell where you were moving, right? Well, you had to be a Jedi, so you wouldn't have a lightsaber, but you could... So it'd be like you had a lightsaber, and you could like do your Jedi stuff, and you do that, and with your power, you could push them away. But it was actually quite aerobic, and I got this thing. set it all up in the lounge, cleared the sofas out of the way, everybody mind out of the way. Well, aside from the fact I smashed my head on the light jumping around, I was absolutely cream crackered. I'm not joking. After about 3 minutes jumping around, doing karate kicks, the lightsaber was going, the Jedi powers were going. Absolutely knackered. Never played it again. So I don't like all that virtual reality stuff. I've decided the reason I like games is because I get to sit in a chair.
I hope you didn't have to do up and down movement with your lightsaber. Been a bit awkward.
What?
Been a bit awkward, mate. Passerbys about to.
Well, unfortunately, the lounge in the back of the house. But I smashed the lampshade on the top of the and we couldn't get another one because it's like the lounge has got 2 lights that come down and they matched. And I smashed it. And she asked me a stupid question. How did you manage to smash that? I was killing a stormtrooper, obviously.
I think I'd like a shooting one. I don't know what. Maybe Call of Duty, actually, if there was such a thing. If you've got a fake gun, I wouldn't want to use my hand. I'd need something to hold.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So if I had some sort of fake AK-47 and my goggles on, I think I'd be in my element, to be honest with you. I'd be lying on the deck and everything behind the couch.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you hide in the bushes on COD. You're a camper.
That's what they call. That's what they call me. That's right. But first I went on there, and it seemed to be like there was some sort of problem. Like there was some embarrassment to be attached.
I have an issue.
To be attached to that. Hold on a second. Just because I'm the best sniper in the world, and I found a hiding place, and I see where all you lot are spawning. Don't have a pop at me.
Oh,
do you know what I mean? You want to come and deal with it? Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I have an issue with people like you. Right. Okay. Some more questions. John Corbett, favourite Premier League manager.
Now,
I assume so, yeah.
Crikey. Who knows?
I'll say Chris Wilder, not for his tactics, because I find him very refreshing in interviews, actually. I find him quite down to earth and stuff. He's got a bit of something about him that I quite admire.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just going to say, I know he's not manager anymore, but he was, and he was brilliant. Roy Keane was my favourite. Just Roy Keane's fantastic.
The 2007-8 kit or new kit?
What's the 2007-8
kit? I was hoping you would remember.
Yeah, that one is brilliant. Oh, I love the blue bits and the claret on it. They were fantastic. Oh, and a badge.
Yeah, I can't remember. Crikey.
Parcel and stuff.
Christian, you can only choose one: Rico Henry or Matty Cash.
Matty Cash, because I've seen him play.
Matty Cash, because Ben Johnson can play on the left. Creswell can't play on the right. Andy Walsh, who's your favourite motorsport person? His is Valentino Rossi.
Oh, he likes a motorbike, does he? That's fine. I say it's fine. I say it's treated that out of disdain. No, a lot of people like the bikes, don't they? Motorsport was hard not to appreciate Nigel Mansell. Back in the day, I loved what Damon Hill did, though. But actually, as a guy, I had the pleasure of meeting him. I was so delighted to see Jenson Button win the world title once. I know he wasn't the most talented. I know Lewis Hamilton's far more talented. But Jenson Button, what a guy. What an absolutely lovely bloke. Yeah, perhaps him.
None, don't like it. Morgan Kent, Upton Park now, playing on a block of flats, or the London Stadium?
Well, London Stadium. We can't play on a block of flats.
Well, if you stand on it, you'll get a similar view as you do at the London Stadium pitch. Hammer 1999. If the club were forced to change our strip colours, what would you choose to replace the claret and blue?
Oh, yellow and black.
Blue and claret
yellow
for
and
me.
Black. It'd be what?
I'd change it to blue and claret.
Oh, you've weaseled out of that one.
I quite like black and white, to be honest with you, but predominantly black. I do like black with a trim. Real Madrid's one with R9, the real Ronaldo, back in the days, was Siemens mobile. Is there? Does Siemens still make mobiles?
Well, Siemens always shows up quite nasty on a black kit.
No. Unbelievable. That is just ridiculous. Come on. Well, someone did showing up on the game.
That's absolutely touche.
Oh dear. And superb. Anyway, Andy, what is Gonzo Winslet's favourite car?
I can't remember the one they had in that steamy scene. Was very rough lover, Leonardo DiCaprio, as I remember. Fortunately, he's dead. That'd teach him. Wouldn't it be bad if it had actually died tonight? Because I was talking about the actor in the Titanic, and Leonardo DiCaprio died, and then everyone said, "Crikey, Gonzo was." See, cup of tea. Gonzo was laughing about DiCaprio dying. What's my favourite car? I am not that bothered about cars, Andy. Honestly, I can take them. I can take them or leave them. I saw a really nice Mercedes. A Mercedes was I don't know. I saw a nice Mercedes that was on Top Gear years ago. That looked like a Spitfire. Had a Spitfire. I don't know. Whatever. I don't know about such things.
Yeah. I can't even drive. No point asking me. Darren Hutchinson, what's your favourite record that you could listen to on repeat?
Oh, none of them. They drive me around a twist if everyone's on repeat all the time. My favourite song... Well, as I said, my favourite song means most to me. It's very two different things. But a song that means most to me is from Quadrophenia album, a song called Love, Reno and Me. I've listened to that more times than is probably healthy. But yeah, favourite song... I don't know. It's funny, they've been listening to Guns N' Roses a long time, and I don't seem to get bored with that. But yeah, many.
For song, it'll be Slide Away, the Oasis one. But if it's like just to come away from the Oasis answer, because it's a bit easy for me. White Urban Hymns by The Verve. That album's just
good album.
Oh, it's just perfection, isn't it? So much anthems on it as well, just start to finish. The whole album. I listen to it a good few times a week, just that one album in particular.
I wish he'd have done more Richard Ashcroft, actually, because he did Song for the Lovers, which very good. He did a very good acoustic version of that, and he did, and there's another one. But yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. Some people only got one album in them,
He's made a bit of a comeback over the last couple of years. I've been to see him a few times in the last years. He's been, fortunately for me, he's been support for Liam a couple of times as well. So to have him and then Liam is just... Thank you very much. It's sort of like 2 for 1, really. I feel like I'm a bit naughty, to be honest with you. When you get someone like that come on and support who you would pay to see on their own, you're a bit like...
Well, I had that. Went to see The Who in Hyde Park. I don't know, 3-4 years ago, maybe something like that. Just before they came on was Paul Weller, who's a massive favourite of mine, and before that was the Kaiser Chiefs. And whilst I wouldn't say necessarily the Kaiser Chiefs, someone whose records they were excellent. In fact, arguably, they were better than Paul Weller. And they got so much energy.
Do you know, when I first saw Kaiser Chiefs, I saw them at my first ever concert. And I didn't go to see Kaiser Chiefs. I went to see Franz Ferdinand in Glasgow when I was about 12, 13. I was definitely at secondary school. I went to see Franz Ferdinand. And support come on. There was a support band before them. I think they were called the Fire Brigade, which... It's not Fire Arcade. I know that band, but I'm sure they were called Fire Brigade. They were not really good. Then Kaiser Chiefs come on. They were just excellent. No one had ever heard of them, really. Then after they played, they were in the crowd. All the band members were in the crowd selling their CD for £3. And it only had 6 songs on it, but I remember buying 3 copies because I only had a tenner. So I just took 3 copies, went home, gave one to my dad, one to my brother, and that. And like a year later, they brought out their album, and they were really big. And I just remember watching them. No one knew who the hell they were, but yeah, they
went back to your dad and your brother and said, "You owe me a bit more money." You know that CD I gave you.
Yeah, so everybody was like, whenever I had my CD, everyone was like, "What's that copied thing?" I'm like, "No, I got it from Ricky Wilson. Honestly, I promise you, Ricky Wilson sold me this for £3." Right, okay. Favourite West Ham manager? I can't remember who asked it. I apologise. It's scrolled too far. But favourite West Ham manager of all time?
Yeah. John Lyle. There's only one for me. I couldn't be. I'm a bit too. I'm a young man, so I'm a bit too young to remember Greenwood. But Lyle was the manager of my time in that respect.
It's Bilic for me because obviously I didn't have Lyle. I enjoyed that, but I didn't understand football enough at that age to fully appreciate it stuff. But Slav's the. My favourite manager by quite a distance as well, to be honest with you. Pardew, to be fair, would be second, but Slav's still quite far ahead of him for me. Anyway, is there anything else you'd like to discuss? So we'll be here all night.
No.
Would you like to? No consideration. No.
I'm literally freezing my tits off here. Do you know what I mean? I need to go get a scarf on or something.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll be back maybe next week or something with another cup of tea. We've got a mug of tea to do for the patrons next week, so we'll have to skip next week for the cup of tea. We'll do it the following week. Lots of transfer stuff. We'll keep you up to date with everything. Gonzo's still doing these videos on the other channel. If you enjoyed this episode, please drop a like on it. Appreciate it. And subscribe if you're new around here. And Gonzo, I shall see you very, very soon, I guess.
You will see me very, very soon. I'll see you very, very soon.
We'll catch you in a bit. Cheers, viewers. Goodbye.